Separation is directed by William Brent Bell. I watched this film last night. I saw on my Regal app that it was a film that I haven't heard about before. It was new, so I decided, hey, let's go check it out. A new horror film, how bad can it be? It's really bad. It's atrociously bad. I had a hellish experience watching it because I wanted to leave the entire time. So let's talk about the plot for a second here. This film tells a story about a man named Jeff who is a comic artist who used to work at a puppet show with his wife, but the wife wants custody of the child Jenny. I think the wife's name is Maggie. She wants custody of the child Jenny because Jeff can't support her financially, and she thinks he's a loser. But after she gets struck by a car, sole custody goes to Jeff. But the grandpa ends up wanting to take what's her name, Jenny. All the while, there is a babysitter, Samantha, who's trying to help Jeff along his way, and he ends up becoming a comic artist at a comic place. But some supernatural stuff happens, and it might have to do with what the hell's her name, Maggie. There was potential. There's potential, especially for a sweet story between father and daughter, but it gets muddled in this mess of a film that tries to scare you, and it's not scary at all. The scariest thing that happens in this movie is the fact that while watching the film, I bit my cheek, and it hurt kind of bad, and I wanted to leave because of the fact, but nope, I stayed. I watched this film, and I had a bad time. I did not like this movie at all. The actors try. The little girl I thought would have been atrocious, but she gives a okay performance. Usually I don't like kid actors, especially at a very young age, but she wasn't awful. She was fine. The guy that plays Jeff, I thought he did fine as well. You know, none of the actors here are awful. They just have really bad dialogue to work with, and I think the script is a big mess. And also, the theater I was watching it at, I couldn't hear a damn thing. I heard the AC going on more than I could hear the dialogue, which I could make out what they were saying, but it was so hard to hear. And the only times I ever got loud was when there was loud sound effects to try and scare you. This film is not scary at all. There's some weird stuff going on because Jeff used to work as like a puppet at a puppet show because him and his wife created this like a comic strip slash puppet show thing with like weird characters, but they don't try to do anything with these characters aside from, oh yeah, they're gonna scare the little girl at night, and they're gonna scare the guy at night or whatever. And they don't look scary. They have the potential to look scary with the things they do. Like there's this weird black and white striped thing with a face on it that kind of crawls around in a dream sequence, and I saw it and I went, it would look scary if you're scrolling on Instagram at 2 in the morning and you see a pop up out of nowhere, but not right here. The way they present everything in this film is not scary at all. I This film is a very very big mess, and I don't care about a movie with a low budget. They can turn out great, but I just think the film had a very bad script. Some of the dialogue really doesn't work, but the actors do try their hardest. I mention a low budget because although films with low budgets can be really good, this film I don't know the budget of, and I don't care to look it up. There's a lot of weird CG stuff that happens. Like in the beginning of the film, the little girl wants her mom to come back, and so she's all like, "Hey, there's a bird tapping on the window, so that it's a message from my mom. I mean, she's gonna come soon, so we gotta be quiet." At the gathering after the funeral or whatever for the mom, there's a little bird that taps on the window, but it's CG. It's a CG bird, like it was bought from like a sound effect CG studio sort of thing. Like they just tapped it on there. It looked really bad. And there are some cool CG stuff that goes on. Like near the end of the film, Jeff tries to take some weird trip so he can talk to his deceased wife and go, "Yo, stop messing with us." And a lot of stuff starts morphing around his hands when he touches it, and a lot of stuff starts, morphing around itself. But they kind of make it look blurry, I guess, to hide the fact that it is cheap. But it looked kind of okay. But that's not to say that the film is okay. The film is really bad. This is probably the worst film I've seen in a theater, and which doesn't say much because I only go and see the films that I want to see in theaters that look mildly pleasing to me. I've never had like a I've never seen a really bad movie in a theater aside from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Every other film I've seen in a theater I've enjoyed, but this film I hated. I hate this movie. It has some potential to be a sweet story between the father and the daughter, and about letting go, because the daughter ends up seeing this weird figure, and it's the mother. You know it's the mother, and she ends up wanting to go see the mom. She ends up wanting to end up probably dying to go see the mom because she's in the afterlife or something. But it's muddled with bad dialogue. It's muddled with the weird soundtrack that sounds like it's a Billie Eilish song trying to be sad but kind of uplifting, and doesn't pull that off at all. Um, Probably one of the only things I liked about this film is the relationship between Jeff and his daughter Jenny. Sorry. These characters are so unmemorable. I can't remember their names really. But they have a couple cute scenes together, and that's really it. That's all the kind of redeeming qualities I can think about this movie, because it's not scary at all. There's a twist that I didn't see coming, because it was never in my mind that this movie would have a twist, because I went into this film completely blind. I didn't think of a single thing to do before watching this movie. I just went, okay, there's a new movie, let's go watch it, because theaters are open in Stockton, and I'm happy about that. But goddamn, this movie sucked. I'm going to give Separation a D. It was really bad. It's something that I wish never existed. And this is coming from a director who I know nothing about. I've never seen a single one of his films. I've heard about his films. I think he's most notable for directing The Boy and Brahms' The Boy 2, which is a film about a girl that watches a doll in a house where this old couple lives, and they go, "Hey, watch the boy," and she has to treat him like he's an actual boy. And I've heard nothing but bad things about those movies. So I didn't go in expecting something masterful or anything. I just wanted to be entertained, and I was not. There's even fake out dream sequences in this film where there's a dream within a dream, and I flipped the screen off because it was so laughable and dumb. I was like, no way they just did that. That was so stupid. Wow. I paid $12 to watch this. I would have not even paid $7 to rent it. Oh my god, it was awful. Hopefully karma doesn't bite me in the ass later if I make a film and it ends up being bad. But hey, that's what I go see movies for, to learn from them. So anyways, I would say steer clear from this film because there's no redeeming qualities of this at all. There's not a lesson to be learned. There's something about letting go of the past, but it doesn't work out at all. I think this is a really bad movie. Stay away from it. Um, yeah.